Hello there, knitters. How are you today? This is Connie coming to you from In Stitches podcast. This is podcast number 5. And what day is it? Does anybody know what day it is? I think it's April 21st. Wednesday, April 21st. Just heard on the news. Yesterday was the first day I actually did not listen to any news until dinner time, when we typically catch up on what's going on. Well, typically watch it at dinner time, watch the news at dinner time. Anyway, and I had a much more peaceful, relaxing day, not so feeling so stressed inside as I normally do. So I'm trying to make a big effort not to pay attention to the news, except that I heard today that it looks like Ontario could be closed until March 24th. Sorry. Based on what Doug Ford was saying. And then start opening slowly if we keep going in the direction that we're going. So I encourage everyone to stay at home, stay safe, enjoy the time that you have, because there will come a time when we don't have it, and we will wish that we at least we didn't have COVID-19, but we wish we had the free time that went along with it. And, I know lots of people are struggling. Fortunately for our family, my husband is in an essential business, a rather crazy essential business. I'll tell you now, he's a funeral director. He's actually a general manager of a funeral home now, but when I met him, he was a funeral director. So he is really seeing the impact of the number of deaths. And I think on the weekend, there were more death calls at his funeral home than there were in any other time I've known him. I've never seen that many. So it's a thing, and it's really happening if there are anybody who's wondering, is it really happening? Because it is. And we're just fortunate that we are comfortable and safe in our own homes, with either on our own or with our families, and everybody's safe. And that's the main thing. So anyway, that really started on a downer, didn't it? Talking about the deaths in a funeral home. But that was not my intention. So let's just move on from there, shall we? Okay, I have some good news. We have a winner of the free yarn, and I finally got it, and it was ginger snap yarn that I was giving away, and it's called Panda Party Zest Fingering 80/20 merino nylon, 425 yards, 110 grams. It's a fun colorway with some brights and black and white. So the winner of that I drew, I wrote down all the names, and I drew them out. The winner of this skein of yarn is Lucky Girl Yarn. So if you could contact me at connie.meeke, meeke, at me.com to claim your prize, that would be great. And I'll put also in the show notes and where to reach me to claim your prize, so I can get your address and get this off to you. So it's Ginger Snap Yarn Panda Party. So congratulations, and thank you for leaving a comment. We have passed our 100 subscriber mark, which makes me entirely happy. It's made me very happy when we crossed the 100 mark, I have to say. Like, there's actually 100 people that have watched this podcast. So, if it grows bigger, it'll be amazing. So, because I'm excited to share my love of the craft and my love of knitters and people I've met and things I think, and I don't know, whatever comes to mind, because usually whatever I have in mind to discuss, it's not actually everything that stays. I don't actually stay on topic. So mostly I've been crocheting. And here comes the dog. Do you see the door opening? Friday, out. She just had her dinner. She's feeling left out. I don't need you. Go lay down. Sorry. Did you see my pajama bottoms? I'm actually working in my nice sweater and my pajama bottoms. I went out today like a big girl and had a little bit of running around. I had to take the dog to the vet for blood work and just his standard blood work, and go drop some income tax stuff off for my dad. And he, so I got dressed, I put on real clothes. Then when I came home, I was like, okay, so where's the pajamas? And I put on makeup too, so that was like, I have to podcast today because I can't guarantee the makeup's coming tomorrow. So basically, as I said, I've been crocheting mostly, and I notice on Instagram, and a lot of knitters are finding comfort in crochet, and I'm not sure why that is, except for me, as I mentioned in the last podcast, it brings me to a different time in my life, not necessarily in my life, in my childhood actually, because there was lots of crochet around, and my grandmother used to tell me she crocheted. She put the kids to bed at 7 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever. She had a crazy schedule for them. And then she would sit up until midnight and crochet baby sets of booties, hat, and a little sweater. And she'd get 25 cents for them. And so that's what she would do, spend her evenings crocheting these little layette sets and earning 25 cents for all 3 pieces. So I think that for me, maybe that's what it is, that crochet reminds me of home and just a simpler time when I didn't have all the responsibility I have now, and it wasn't nearly as overwhelming as it is now, because it's a scary time that we're in. So but it's funny because a couple people, my knitting friends also have been crocheting, and I wonder what it is. I've got crochet now. I have crochet projects in my queue of things to do. I just, and some of the yarn stores are doing crochet, projects that are crochet alongs, which are amazing. So anyway, I'm just going to go with it because I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I'm having the best time, and I will show you where I'm at with my crochet blanket. Sorry for the crinkling. These bags that you get sheets in, they're really good to store yarn or projects. And I have real bags that I spent a lot of money on that I don't need to be using plastic. I think this came from Bouclair, and it was a duvet cover. So I wish I had more of them. I had kept them to store my winter sweaters in with some cedar, my hand knit sweaters in. So anyway, so this is the blanket. I don't know. I guess I'll show it this way, although it's meant to go up and down this way. So, but I'll show you so you can see all the colors. I can't see. Usually I have Wendy here, and as you know, and she usually puts my hand down because I have a tendency to forget to put my hand down. And I just keep holding things. And it's about this long. So I don't know, it's 1, 2, maybe 4 feet across. So it's really fun, and I love it. My littlest grandson is 3 years old, and he's smart as a whip, and he loves colors. So I'm thinking I may give this to him because he loves colors, and we play colors often on FaceTime. I'll call him and I'll have my bag of scraps here, and he'll go, "Granny, can you find a blue one?" So I'll find blue, and I picked up a blue, this blue. He goes, "That's not blue, that's indigo." I'm like, seriously, who taught you this stuff? So I thought this would, if he's having trouble falling asleep at night, he could go through the colors. And anyway, that's what I'm thinking. I'm also thinking of heirloom knitting, leaving things to all the grandchildren and stuff, so that there's, because I really miss personally not having taken care of the knitting that my grandmother did. I didn't have the same appreciation for it then that I have now. And I'm not sure that my kids will or would, but I think if I had just put everything away, with the, eventually they may, when I'm old and decrepit, they may appreciate it. So anyway, so that's where I am with the crochet blanket, and I love it. And it's all sock scraps. And I showed yesterday on Instagram, let me tell you too, by the way, setting up for this podcast is like a marathon. I don't like where the light is. I don't like where the camera is. I have to move my desk. I don't want to be in this room. It's ridiculous. I have to figure out a way. I want to have a setup where I don't have to like turn everything upside down every time I want to do this. So I'm kind of happy with the lighting. It doesn't give it, when I leave the light off behind the camera, it doesn't give so much of a glare on my glasses, but I can't tell you how many positions I had this camera in. And right now I'm in my kind of work at home office knitting room, which is a disaster. The work side is good. The yarn side, not so much. And I need to get at it really. But I don't know about you, but I feel like when I think of something that I really should do, I think, well, I could do it tomorrow, because why do I have to do it today? Because it doesn't appear that we're going anywhere anytime soon. So anyway, so like I said, the office side is good because they're files and things, but the yarn side could use some work, and the closet could seriously use some work. And there's lots of junk in there. But one thing I noticed in the camera, and I'll share with you, that on the back of the door there is a shoe holder from Ikea that hangs on the back of the door. My husband put a hook on it, and then we put a hanger in it, or it comes with a hanger, and then each little compartment I've labeled with the size of needles, and that's how I keep all my circular needles in check. So although I've branched out in that direction, as I'll show you as well. So anyway, that's my crochet blanket. And I'll show more minis I have later. I've been winding them in anticipation of 2 other projects that I want to do. And I've also been valiantly buying sets of minis because I like them. I'll tangle in the cords here. Anyway, if you want professionalism, this is not the podcast you want to come to. And then last night, my husband actually even noticed. He said, "Oh, you're knitting." So I actually picked up my chicken sock because I thought I need to get it done. And I felt like knitting. So I don't want to take out anything important. So I'm almost to the toe. Like I think it's almost 7. Just need a little bit more foot length. It's about 7 inches here. I'm going to do a couple more rows, and then I'm going to do the toe, and the first sock will be finished. And I have decided that I really do like 2 at a time socks, because the thought now of a second sock starting from scratch is a bit annoying. So but I'll do it. So I don't know. Maybe it's just the time. Nothing feels, it's the same as last podcast. Nothing really feels all that inspiring except the crochet and sorting through my little bits of yarn. Although I did get some really great stuff. So those are my 2 works in progress. I haven't done any work on my Once in Floral sweater by, I think his name is Vincent. I know he's from Quebec. It's gorgeous, but I haven't touched it. I really lost my mojo on that one when Knit City got canceled, because that was my goal to wear it to that. And then the shawl for the knit along, which I've discovered I'm a failure at the knit along. So I had to drop out. I wasn't going to be able to finish in time. And I'm currently just waiting for some bamboo needles to finish it. It's very slippery on steel, so I think I would be happier on bamboo, which is another whole story. And I'd hope that's the acquisition that supports that story would be here, but it's not. Canada Post is absolutely behind. I mean, even for that set, those needles, those bamboo needles, it says they were supposed to arrive. Maybe it's April to August 20, anyway. They were supposed to arrive yesterday, out for delivery. They didn't arrive. Today, they say they're out for delivery, but they say yesterday's date for the date, the expected delivery date. So Canada Post is completely overwhelmed, I'm sure. And you can notice it yourself. Just go from buying on Amazon and things like that. You have to wait a whole lot longer. Like Prime is not working very often for very many things. Even Indigo and Chapters buying books, it takes a lot longer to get them than it normally does, and it's sheer volume. And so we just need to be patient with that. And even the, packages coming from really close are taking a lot longer. So if you're in that position waiting for something, I know it's hard to wait, but just try to be patient and be kind to the yarn stores, because it's not their fault, or whoever it is that you bought it from. Because once it goes out of their hands into Canada Post, it doesn't, who knows what happens to it. And I think like a lot of these packages with guaranteed delivery dates are not even being scanned on time. So there's going to be a backup. But everything I've ordered has come. It just takes a while to get here. And, the 2-day delivery or 1-day delivery is not working at all. In fact, it took over 7 days for something to come from Tanis Fiber Arts. And it was not dyed to order. She shipped it within a day of me ordering it, and I just got it today. So, and it was, sent expedited, which typically should get here in a couple days, and it did not. So, and every time I looked for it online, it said it was in Quebec. So, still says it's in Quebec, but it is not. It's not. It was in my post office. So, just bear with Canada Post and any deliveries. That's something that's going on. That's a bit preachy, isn't it? Anyway, so what else? I came across something on the internet that I thought is my friend and I were talking about U.S. exchange, and I'm a big supporter of a lot of the, I really love Chelsea yarns, and I try to support them whenever I can, and I'm a big fan of Hue Loco, so I will try to support her whenever I can. But there is definitely a marked change in the value of the Canadian dollar. So these things coming from the States typically are costing us a lot of money. And a friend and I were talking about where are all the Canadian indie dyers, because certainly there's more than we know about. And I came across this, the Great Canadian Dyer List from Knitbrooks. And I'm not sure, looks like it's I don't know, Knitbrooks. It looks like they sell crochet hooks, patterns. They have contact, but it's a collection of Canadian yarn dyers listed by province. Enjoy supporting the amazing and talented pool of fiber artists in Canada. And for my friends in the US, it's a real bargain to buy yarn up here right now. So if you want anything, go to the Canadian websites, because they are really, it's about 30% less than the Canadian prices that would be listed. So you'd be doing really well to support some of the Canadians as well, and make your yarn money go further. So anyway, this is I printed this off from the internet. I'll show you. So it's called Knitbrooks. I don't even know if that's going to come through. Great Canadian Yarn Dyers. I'll post a link to it in the notes below. But what I liked is that it was all by province. Some of them I already knew about. Some I had no idea about. Found some real beauties that perhaps I didn't need to know about, but I do now. And it's quite extensive. Like Alberta has a huge collection of indie dyers. Like that. It's almost the whole page. The few at the top are not. And then I think it goes on. British Columbia, Northwest Territories, Yukon, Nunavut, Nova Scotia, and then Ontario's got a fair amount as well, of course. I'm most familiar with those, but from out of the province, I'm not so familiar. So that was, I thought, a good find. And what's good about this is every name is a link, so it actually takes you to their website, so you can actually see what they have, and then maybe go and make a list of what you like, and or just, you know, keep in mind that company, keep your eyes open, or go follow them on Instagram. So that was one thing I've been saving to share with you. And I guess we're on to acquisitions, which has continued to be a problem. Not for me, because I'm very happy when they arrive here, but and my husband has no idea, because now I go to the post office and I get my boxes and I bring them home and I open them and I put them in the garage recycling, which she would never go through again. And I know it's making him sound like a beast, and he's so not like that. Like, he's a great guy, and but I just don't want to listen to it. I don't want him to tease me. I don't want anything, because perhaps in my own mind I feel like I'm getting a little bit out of hand. So the first thing I purchased was a steamer for to steam my projects. I ideally got it for the linen scarf that I was working on. So I thought that would be so nice to hang it, you know, on a hanger with clothespins or whatever, and just steam it all down, and it would be nice, and you could, you know, keep it all even, etc. So that arrived, and that was not long. That was just a few days. So it's a hand steamer. It's, I don't know, extreme steam, 5 times faster, 30% hotter. So it came on the weekend. And it came to our door because it was from Amazon. So my husband said, "Who ordered the package?" I said, "I have no idea. I have no clue, Greg, who ordered that package." So I said, "Open it. I don't even know what it is." So he opens it. He goes, "A steamer? Who would buy a steamer? Why would you buy a steamer?" I went, "Oh, I forgot, it's Happy Easter. It's for you. It's an Easter gift for you to steam your dress shirts." So, which he did not buy for 1 second. He knew why. This had to be knitting related. It was not because of his shirts, because that's his responsibility, not mine. But that's what I tried to feed to him, saying, he was like, "Yeah, right." I go, "No, really. I just wanted to surprise you. It's Easter, and it's just us, and let's have, you know, I just want to do something nice for you. So I bought you a steamer." It was quite funny, but I got it for my knitting. So that was my first project, or first thing that I did. And they're kind of in order here. Pardon my the crinkling. I have 3 of the backyard roosters now. So I'm the proud owner of 4 chickens and 3 roosters, and I haven't ordered the last one yet, because there's actually a set of minis that I would like from Hue Loco that I haven't got up the courage to order yet, based on what I've already ordered. So this one is Black Wheaten Americana. I'm not sure if I showed it last time. I don't think I did. I don't think it was here, because it came on its own. So it has the bright scarlet and the darker mauve than one of the other chickens, and then a really fun speckly colorway to do, and that's the first rooster. And then, pardon the crinkling, I don't know where to open it. My husband may see all these bags and think, "What is she doing?" Ugh. There it is. I'm sorry. Sorry for the crinkling. Then the second one is the Gray Cuckoo Silky, and it is a real nice one for men. And I can't tell you, the yarn is so nice to work with. There's no, I'd like to try more of her yarn. She has the new line of woolen that is spun to her specifications, and it's a rustic wool, not a superwash, not rustic, it's non-superwash. So so this has nice charcoal and gray, and then there's like a darker gray and a lighter gray for the sock, for the toes and heels. So they're just fun. I don't know, like I said to you, I should just keep them. There's some, and we all have it, I think, there's yarn that's like too good to touch. You don't want to knit with it, because remember a friend of mine, Julia, used to tell me, when I used to have a yarn store when I had it, she bought this yarn for me, and it was Sweet Georgia China Doll, and it was the most beautiful pink, red, it was just the most stunning color. And I think that I think, well, I just recently reconnected with her the last year, I guess. And I think it had been quite a few years. We were working together, and then we went and we weren't and didn't see each other very often. And I think it took her 3 or 4 years to knit with that yarn. And I could be mistaken. It could be that it's still in her stash. And I kept asking her, why haven't you knit with it? And she'd say, it's too beautiful to knit with. And it's really true. There's some yarn that is just too beautiful to knit with. It's better to just look at it. So and then the last chicken, or the third chicken, or the third rooster is Onagadori, and it's a light color with speckles of blue, and there's green and some orangey gold, and then the two are bright royal and emerald. So it's always fun to come up with ways to how to use these minis. And these are great skeins because they're so big. The 100-gram skein is, you should say, I'm not sure. Merino sock. Oh, this is a different blend of sock. The other ones were Phyllis. This is her merino sock. So it's 400 yards, but the Phyllis is 460 yards. So you could easily get a big pair of socks out of them. So that's that. What else? Okay, I have my little pile here. This is where I've been hiding it. Oh, well, staying on to the, oh, those are double pointed needles that fell out of the closet when I was looking. Staying on the Hue Loco train, this is Phyllis Sock set of minis called Powder, and I love them because I'm in mine for my blanket of calm is all really soft, pastel-y colors. I don't know. Anyway, I'm a big sucker for pastels. So this is I'll show it this way. I don't know if I can. I don't know if you can see it very well in the bag. Doesn't look bad, but they're gorgeous. And it does look like they were colorways and then someone just sort of powdered them with icing sugar. I just love that whole concept. So I got those with the last two, this set with the last two chickens. She does really, this is the second set of minis I had. I had the, did the Color Riot in, who, I don't even watch this show, Game of Thrones. That set of colorways, which is really great. So this is destined for a crochet project at some time in the future. So then, of course, you know, so my friend Sara, who was my really my first knitting friend, I have to say, and I'm old enough to be her mother, but we're very good friends. So, and we get along really well. She's very mature. I have children her age, but I actually like her better than my children. So, and no, but we've just always been really good friends, and knitting is something we have in common, and the age difference disappears altogether. She used to come over before she had kids, and she would, when we lived on the farm, she'd come over every Thursday, and we'd knit with Gray's Anatomy, and she would knit, and my husband, after she left, he would say, "How come Sarah's so much faster than you? like, she knits so much more than you. You were, because there was one time we were working on the same sweater, and she said, he said that after she left. I said, well, I don't know. I guess she's just younger. Her hands move quicker. I don't know, but she continues to be a very prolific and quick knitter. So I forget. Oh, she wanted to borrow my little tiny Chiao, the minis, the little tiny needles, like they're this big with short cords that I bought, and I wasn't crazy about them. So she said, well, can I try them? And I said, yes. And she says, if I like them, I'll buy them from you. And I said, that's fine. I don't like them. It's not going to work for me. So when she came to pick them up, because social isolation, I had to put them outside in a bag. So when she came to pick them up, she left me a little treat behind. And just excuse me a minute, I dropped it. See, oh, here I am. She left me a little sock set. And so, and she's plays around with dyeing yarn, and so she sent me, guess what color? Pink. She knows how much I love pink. So I'm going to do something with that, something special. And my nails are gone, right? They're not as pretty as they used to be. Anyway, so this is like either couldn't remember if it was 75-25 or 80-20, but it's super soft, and I love the subtle pink, how it goes from dark to light. And not even dark, but it's varying degrees of depth of color. And then she included a Leo and Roxy mini in blue for me to do the socks and toes and cuff if I wanted. So I was very happy to get it, and maybe I'll be the first person that ever owns a skein of yarn from Sara. I don't know what she would call her company, or if she's a teacher. So I'm not sure that this is ever going to be a full-time thing, maybe than for herself. But maybe if she were to develop a line of hand-dyed yarn, I would be the first owner of this yarn. So, and we spent a lot of time on chatting back and forth and texting, sending pictures of knitting and how are you feeling. And it's a lot because she's a teacher, so she's dealing with her own 2 kids that are home and having to have them do their homeschooling, and then she's also in charge of a classroom. So it's a lot for her, and a lot of uncertainty with how it's going to go, what's actually going to happen. So I would say pretty much, I think our school year is done here, but no one has announced it formally. Some of the provinces have. Alberta has, I think, but Ontario has not announced it formally yet. But I know, talking to my own daughter, she just said that whether it starts or it doesn't start, she's not sending them for the rest of the year. She'll just continue on what she's doing, and I think it's really valid. People are so concerned, and they're not learning, and they are learning. They're learning life stuff, which is often things that they get missed. How to bake, how to, when I was a kid, I would bake with my mother, and I would, do all this stuff, how to help get dinner ready. My friend Meg in Michigan, she's homeschooling her kids, but she's teaching them life skills, how to bake, how to cook eggs 3 different ways. And it's just amazing to see. And it's so valuable, teach your child how to work a bank account. Those things are never covered in school, and that they're most valuable lessons that there could be. So anyway, that's just my little 2 cents again. I've never been one that has been worried about amount of school missed, because I think that there's value in other things. I think there's value in vacations. I was a child that was taken out of school every year for 2 weeks to go on a family vacation. So it's kind of what I've carried through. I've also, done that with my own kids as well, taking them away on vacation in the school year. So I think that this is an opportunity to teach our children about a different way of life, and not a bad way of life either. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. But even, I'm thankful for the technology, because without it, I wouldn't be able to talk to my grandson. So, or my other grandchildren, or I have a Zoom with my dad and my sister and brother-in-law every Sunday. He's in Victoria still, and my sister and brother-in-law are in Newmarket, but we're all, isolating basically from other humans. So it's nice just to catch up on Sunday. We spend about an hour on Zoom. We catch up, and it's fun. It's fun to do that. So I'm grateful for the technology and the ability it gives us to stay in contact with people like this podcast. But I'm also really grateful for the opportunity for people to learn, for kids and young people to learn other things. Emma made us dinner last night. She has not ever, maybe one other time or two other times, but she asked me the night before, can I make dinner tomorrow night? I was like, absolutely, go ahead. And she made a delicious stir fry, and it was really great. I find we're spending some really quality family time together, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. I wouldn't trade it for a thing. And I'm sure that when this is all over and we're looking back on it, we also will maybe be a little bit grateful that we didn't get sick, first of all, and that, or if we didn't get sick, if you're fortunate enough, if we're all fortunate enough not to get sick, we'll be grateful for that, but we'll also be grateful for the things that it taught us about the way we were living. So, this is really on the bandwagon. On my, what is it? Anyways, I'm talking too much, because I actually have a Zoom call with friends of mine that are, I guess we've been 28 years, almost 30 years we used to work together. And now we start meeting on Zoom out of the blue. We didn't call each other ever before. And now we're meeting like once every 2 weeks on Zoom. This is a good thing. So anyway, that's that. More acquisitions. Enough with the heartfelt stuff. Let's get to the material things. So of course, I love the Knitting Loft in Toronto. And after selling my big set of, or my little tiny set of Chiao glues to Sara, I decided that I should buy the big set that everybody talks about. And one of the reasons is I have a huge selection of circular needles, lots, because I had the yarn store, and at that time I kept a lot of the Addy Turbos that I had before I sold the inventory. I had just kept a lot of them because I had already paid for them. And then just when the Knitting Loft opened, it'll be 2 years this September, I started, they carried the Chiao glue lace, and I started working with them. And then I have found myself, every time I need a needle, if I don't have it in Chiao glue, I will go and buy that one. So I thought it might be worthwhile to try an interchangeable set. So we'll see what happens. Everybody's been saying good things about it, so I hope it works out. If not, one of these podcasts, you might find this whole set for sale. I guess the bag's all sealed, but it's the Twist Red Lace Interchangeable. I don't know if you can see. I know lots of people have this, so it's not something new. Oh, there, but it's new to me. They also have a new set of bamboo, which are not the bamboo needles that I ordered, but those ones, they twist, or they go on the when they attach to the cable, the needle attached to the cable, it moves around there, so you're not likely to unscrew your cable from your needle. So that's a really good feature, which I hope they eventually incorporate into these. But it's a beautiful little package, great bag, and I'm hoping it solves some of my knitting problems with needles and stops me from buying individual sets and looking to see that I actually have them. So that's them. Haven't opened them yet. I was saving everything for the podcast. It's like my job is to purchase yarn, purchase things to show you. So, and then I purchased a single, because it's not included in the kit, a single 2.25 millimeter and 47 inches to do 2 socks at a time, because I'm going to cast on some socks for my daughter's boyfriend, and I thought I want to do them 2 at a time because they're going to be quite big. So that's that. And then along with that package came, I'm almost getting there, is Xmore Sock. And Maria was surprised because she said, oh, you're going to the rustic yarn. So I'm a hand-dyed lover. I have loved hand-dyed yarn from when it first came out, and I cannot get enough of it. So, but I got this Xmore Sock from the Knitting Loft. About $14.50, I think, a skein. It looks like it's a 50-gram skein. 60% Exmoor Blueface, 20% Corydell, 10% Zwartbles, and 10% nylon. I don't know what Zwartbles is. But the Xmore Sock 4-ply, embracing the characteristics of our local Exmoor sheep as a durable machine washable yarn in an array of North Devon inspired shades. So it's feels kind of rustic. I got 2 colors. These are called Hemmel, and they're looking pretty good in the camera. And then I got this gray, which is Builder in Clouds. So, and I think, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe stripe them or something for him. I'm not exact, I haven't decided. But it'll be Emily's favorite socks, I can promise you that. And then the last thing that I got, this is a company, I don't own much yarn from this company. I think it's Grenouille in Dorchester, New Brunswick. And, but she's great color sense. And I haven't really, haven't followed her. Well, I have been following her for a long time and normally miss these updates of hers. And again, it's sock sets. I don't know. I love them. And what caught my eye really for the first one was this one called Ursa, which is just a cream with little specks of this coppery color in it. And I just I love that the actual sock color was light versus making a darker sock color. And then the 2 heels were black, and then the same kind of rusty orange. And it's, what is it? 437 yards, 85% superwash, 15% nylon. Feels amazing. And there's the, I don't know if you can see the company. It's Grenouille. It's probably much simpler than that, but it's French, I think. She has, and I actually have somewhere I came across somebody was doing a Handmade in Canada subscription, and you could pick provinces, and certain provinces had put a box together of their handmade products. They actually had knitting boxes, and they had this company, Grenouille, as well for that. And I got this color, which is called Sweetgrass. So I have more yarn that could, I'm going to not be able to knit it my whole life. Maybe if I stop now, but that's not likely to happen, do you think? Oh, and one last thing that just came today is my sweater from Tanis Fiber Arts. It's all in a bag. It's a fade for city limits. I did not go with the mohair because I'm not sure about mohair. I feel like I'm not going to be able to wear it for any length of time. And this one is called, well, the yarns are called Capital. It's just so gorgeous. Metropolis. Actually, this fade is called Metropolis. Metropolis Museum. I don't think I have big enough hands for all of it. Jam Jam. See it that way? Jam Jam. Downtown is a beautiful blue. A little bit of green too, blue green. See it there? And this is her Pure Wash fingering weight. So, and then the final skein, because I'm a bigger size, I needed a 6 skein fade, was Fig, which is really beautiful navy and purples. So this is the fade that I bought for City Limits. And as usual, it's stunning. I love Tanis Fiber Arts colorways. I have a picture of the pattern here. Yeah, City Limits. And hers is gorgeous because she did it with, I don't know. I'll just hide behind it. She did hers with mohair, and it's got a lovely soft look to it. But I've never knit a fade, actually. So I'm looking forward to doing this one. And I really like some of the design elements. So that's what I've done there. And then I was into couple more quick things. I went through all my sock bits, and I wound them like a lunatic into little 20-gram balls. So this is all in anticipation of the crochet projects I have in mind. One being the Water Arcade, which is a knit along hosted by Bloom Handmade, and Carolyn has just started a new YouTube channel called, I believe it's called Bloom Handmade, and she's done some impeccable tutorials on there on how to make this Water Arcade, how to make the circles. I should show you while I'm talking how to make the circles and how to make the little diamonds and everything in between. And they're impeccable, and they're not in big chunks. They're like 2-minute little tutorials, and it's just amazing. She's contemplating podcasting. I said she absolutely should. She's got a great way about her. One of those soothing voices. So, and it's a great pattern. It's huge. And she even gives you a page that you could actually color plan what you wanted to do for your circles. So, just plain color. So that's fun too. So that's that. And then Emily's favorite socks. I told you last time, they do sell it on Ravelry as a single pattern, so I have had that for a while. And what else? Oh, and so all the minis are in anticipation of what's coming up. But there's bags of them. It took me a few days to get it done, but it was really fun to finally get all those scraps in order. So anyway, what else do I have to say? Blanket of calm. Oh, I'm going to do a knit along. It's not like fancy knit along, but Maria from the Knitting Loft and I are doing a knit along of the Love Note sweater starting May 15th. We're both not sure how we're going to get finished what we have on the needles to start that, but that is the goal. So if anybody wants to knit along with us, for sure, you're welcome to. I'm going to, I'm a little nervous about posting a link to a Zoom meeting on here for fear we get a bunch of crazy people coming. So I'm not really sure. So if anybody knows how I can handle that, I was looking at trying to message everybody individually, and it didn't really connect. So, and I don't even know. It's a miracle I get these things uploaded every month or every couple weeks now. So if anybody has any ideas about that, let me know. Because I think I love the Zoom meetings with knitting. Even if you don't say a word, you sit in a room. I mean, how often have we all sat in knit-alongs and not said anything for the whole time? And then come home and had the best time of our whole lives because it's just great to be around other knitters. So I might, actually, I guess I could post a link in our Ravelry group if I ever get it made. So if anybody has any easy tips on how I can contact the people that want to attend the Zoom meetings for the Instagist podcast, if they could let me know, that would be great. So I guess that's about it for now. I needed to, I was in a good mood today. I got my makeup on, so I thought this is the day to podcast. I so appreciate all of you taking time to listening to me ramble on about all kinds of stuff, all my opinions and my knitting and just life. It's a pretty interesting time. And I wish everybody the best. Stay safe, stay healthy, and let's just be kind to each other. And I think that's the most important thing. If you happen to be out, you can wave to a stranger and it makes their day, because we're all feeling the same way, kind of cut off from everybody. So anyway, I wish you all the best for, I don't know how long, forever, but I might be back in 2 weeks or sooner if I come up with something to say. But I love everybody, and thanks again for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And like I said, you American yarn shoppers, including people who own stores, Christina, can enhance your own stash at a great discount by buying Canadian yarns right now. Anyway, I love you all. Take care and see you soon. Bye.